ho what that dang dang. Hang God danyo danyo. Oh what that dang dang. This is the voice of the patriot.
Yabo.
And here we speak truth to power. Here we don't criticize, but if we must, it would only be on one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we keep saying we are in the service of God and country. Let me warn you, here we are not neutral, not at all. We have taken sides. Yes, the side of the truth. That is why we keep saying we are the headquarters of the truth. This is the voice of the patriot. And of course, the very first story we are looking at today is taken from Ghana Web. He says, he struck my chest and dazed me. I nearly collapsed. Afenyo Markins on altercation with police. And I read, Minority Leader of Parliament Alexander Afenyo Markins has clarified the circumstances surrounding a recent incident at Jubilee House during the Save the Judiciary demonstration, including him and a police officer. In a viral video from the event, Afenyo Markins was seen knocking a police officer. However, he has refuted claims that he acted aggressively without cause, asserting that the public narrative surrounding the incident is inaccurate. According to him, the confrontation was provoked by the police officer who struck him while he attempted to join his colleague at Parliament House. In an official statement detailing the events on May 5, 2025, he condemned the officer's conduct, writing, "I write to strongly condemn the reprehensible and disgraceful act of violence perpetrated against me by a uniformed police officer, Constable Forcing, at the entrance of Parliament House during today's peaceful and highly successful Save the Judiciary demonstration. As the leader of the demonstration, I led protesters alongside the leadership of other political parties to Parliament. One of the designated stops to formally present our petition. Now, copies had earlier been delivered to the Supreme Court, and from Parliament, we were set to proceed to the Jubilee House. Upon arrival, the national organizer and other party leaders had already been granted access. The Deputy Minority Leader, Honorable Patricia Apieje, and I were then invited by the party's communication director, Mr. Richard Ahiagba, to join them. As I approached the barricade, without any provocation, Constable Forcing, a tall, fair, heavily built officer stationed behind the barricade, deliberately struck the left side of my chest with the full force of his right palm directly near my heart. The Efutu MP further explained the physical impact of the officer's strike. The impact dazed me, and I was visibly shaking and short of breath. In that moment, I spontaneously protested his conduct, asking why he would seek to harm me. The inspector facilitating my access along with other officers quickly intervened and assisted me into the restricted area. This is the biggest disgrace we can have dealt to our Parliament House. My brother, these are lawmakers. This is a guy who speaks like a parrot in the Parliament House. The Parliament House that is fast losing its authenticity. They are supposed to be called honorables, but a lot of these guys are sheer dishonorables. No respect. This was the same violent Afenyo Markins who inherited his violence from Nana Akufo-Addo. No wonder they belong to the same dirty party. And I say this with that apology. I am hurt as a Ghanaian, and it will take us long as if we ever forgive this party at all for what they took us through. 8 years of hell. My brother, listen carefully. The same Afenyo Markins was the one who was at the premises of the dishonorable of a reverend. I prefer to call him an unreverend. My brother, my sister, who was resisting legal and lawful arrest. This was a guy who came out momentously telling us that there was a certain aeroplane full of cocaine and so much money, in fact, bewitching money laundering. My brother, my sister, this man was bewitching money laundering. He moved from one radio station to one TV station, soiling the name of this beautiful country, a country that our ancestors worked so hard to put in place. Such an unreverend, dishonorable, dirty character like that. They didn't care how much work Kwame Nkrumah put in. Neither did they care all the work our ancestors from Ya Asantewa all the way to Ndeura Jakpa and the rest of them, including Ayeta Azantilo, they didn't care. All they are interested in is destroying the name of this country, tearing down each other so they could rise into political prominence again after destroying this country for 8 solid years. The country found it necessary to go arrest this guy after he refused to cooperate with authorities. And when they went to arrest him, the same unlawful lawmaker, Afenyo Markins, was there. He helped to shield this dirty guy, my brother, my sister, who wants us to call him a reverend and at the same time an honorable. He brokered a certain momentous peace. Can I say it again? A certain momentous peace, temporary peace, that he was going to deliver the unreverend, dishonorable to the authorities. Up till now, if it is just a second ago that the unlawful lawmaker Afenyo Markins presented this unreverend, dishonorable, my brother, my sister, to the authorities, then it's now that I am being told. You sit in the Parliament House, expect to be called honorables, yet you are the most dishonorable. At your press conferences, you can break people's microphones after you developed a very radical penchant for destroying microphones and breaking table chairs right there inside the Parliament House, squeezing each other's testicles, aka balls. I'm angry with these guys. For the first time in the history of the Parliament of Ghana, we have seen dishonorables on parade. We have seen people who have no regard for our nation. Up till now, that unreverend, dishonorable has never been sent to face the loss of this nation. Yet, you expect the guy at Nima, the guy at Ashaiman to behave well by the laws you unreverently, dishonestly, dishonorably sit in parliament to make. You are jokers. I don't see the common sense in this. Mathematically, biologically, philosophically, it is balderdash. It is hogwash, my brother. Same Afenyo Markins, who has no knowledge of science in whatsoever. By his CV, he only knows basic science. Now knows where his heart is. Is on the left side of his chest, and that the policeman targeted his chest, in fact his heart, and hit it with full force. His palm thumped his chest and dazed him, and he almost collapsed. When people were shot and killed during elections, all these voices were silenced. When, my brother, my sister, dirty haircuts were given to pensioners, they died and visited early graves and have sworn that if God reincarnates them, they will never come to this country called Ghana because of these dishonorable guys. They didn't see this. When they were in power, my brother, my sister, the lawyers that they are, they filled our courthouses with dirty politicians. Now, the guy who is not a lawyer at all is trying to read our law houses, my brother, my sister, of all these politician lawyers and magistrates, and they are crying. My brother, my sister, Addo will go down as one of the most shameless presidents this country has ever had, one of the most lawless, one of the most dishonest presidents this nation has had. A lawyer who never upheld the power of the law. In his regime, he used the law, in fact, misused the law to misdirect justice. We saw how he used the law courts at his beck and call, his whims and caprices. We saw all this. Today, Afenyo Markins says he was attacked direct on his left chest, and boom, it hit his heart. He dazed up, and then he almost collapsed. And then he reacted spontaneously by hitting the face of a policeman. Why didn't they lump him up and giving him a good beating? It would have pumped some little sense into the heads of these guys. Some of them are so lawless, only a good beating will teach them common sense. If that unreverend, dishonorable, my brother, my sister, was bundled and taken there and asked to provide some level of evidence, you would have seen him crumble like a house of cards. Yet they allow all these dishonorables to continue misbehaving. Kai, when is that president going to come? The radical president who will radicalize the laws of this country to the very letter. People fail, my brother, my sister, to declare their assets and liabilities. Mr. President said, and not limiting it to only that one, that he will remove them from office. And all he did was to give them 3 months of no pay so that Mahama cares can be upheld. Well, at least they got some punishment. Left to me alone, they should go home. Next time the president speaks, people would take it serious. If we are cracking the whip, let's crack the whip loud enough so that people standing by can hear the sound of the whip and take big lessons from that. Let's not deal with people with kids' gloves. To Afenyo Markins, you can continue to pretend as much as you want. You can continue to hide under this blatant, irresponsible behavior and do anything you want. At the end of the day, posterity would judge all of you one after the other. You don't respect the law. You hit a police officer. Let's even say the police officer hit you. So you hit him back. What happened to your laws? Your law says you hit police officers back. Now you are hiding under spontaneity. Say it again, Blakk Rasta. Spontaneity. To misbehave. I'll leave you here. Next thing I want to look at is dicey. My producer says, Blakk Rasta, if anything at all, let's leave this. I'm going to take it, producer. Watch this. This one is taken from Ghana Web, and it says, shot SHS student to be flown to UK for urgent treatment with support from Ibrahim Mahama. And shot is SHOT. That means somebody fired with a gun, right? Not the height. Shot SHS student to be flown to the UK for urgent treatment with support from Ibrahim Mahama. I read. Susie Pinamai, the 17-year-old student of Adventist Senior High School at Bantama in the Ashanti region, who was shot in the eye by a classmate, is to be flown to the United Kingdom for emergency medical treatment due to the swift intervention of businessman and philanthropist Ibrahim Mahama. Now, how did this incident happen? Watch this. Susie sustained severe facial and eye injuries on April 4, 2025, when her classmate Bernard Amwabeng allegedly discharged a firearm during a school break. The bullet struck her forehead with fragments damaging her eye, leaving her unable to see, sleep, or fully close the affected eye. Her condition has been described as critical and complex, requiring multiple surgeries and specialized care unavailable in Ghana. What I know for sure is that some people will go to hell when they die. A lot of the guys who ruled us for 8 years, including the dwarf, they will all go to hell, that I know. My brother, my sister, and that other guy who went around lying on almost every platform, they will go to hell. Nothing would save them unless there's a last-minute cleansing when the angels descend and stir the water. And when the water is stirred, crippled as they are, they need Jesus Christ to carry them into the pool. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. They don't read the Bible, so they don't even know what I'm talking about. My brother, now listen to this. I also know, much as I know those who will go to hell, those who go to heaven. One of the people who go to heaven is Ibrahim Mahama. That I know. He's going to heaven, no? I say Ibrahim Mahama is one of those who go to heaven. You know why he will go to heaven? My brother, even in opposition, when he assumably did not benefit from the 8 years of drought, he was still doing these philanthropic activities. My brother, take a walk to Ibrahim Mahama's house. I'll tell you a funny story. My brother, watch this. It looks like anytime Ibrahim Mahama comes to that house, around the gold house, Kaokudi area there is a certain liman who announces in the mosques all over the Zongus that Ibrahim Mahama has come. So right after morning prayer Fajr, everybody goes to sit down there. In fact, the queue is like from here all the way to Guantanamo Bay. Everybody is sitting there waiting for Ibrahim Mahama to come and feed them. I don't envy this guy. There was one time he invited me to his house and he wanted to give me money. Long time ago, I couldn't take the money. My hands were shivering. When I look at the number of people this guy gives money to, even if he was the one who controlled the money printing machine, my brother, the money will finish. Some people, they have a certain heart. That is the heart of angels, not fallen angels. Angels, proper angels. Ibrahim Mahama is one of those. But this is where there's a departure point. If Ibrahim Mahama every now and then is in the news for flying somebody with an eye problem, right from Kofi TV all the way to Miss Pinamai, to travel outside this country every now and then, that is the story I hear. Are we truly independent? What is wrong with, are we serious? You are not even ashamed to say that somebody has been shot in the eye, and all the doctors in Ghana, that all the hospitals in Ghana, no facility whatsoever, both private and government, my brother, my sister, public, none is able to treat this. They have to fly and pay hard currency to some guy sitting somewhere in England or America or India. What happened to us from 1957 when Kwame Nkrumah and Jerry John Rawlings sent a lot of people to Cuba to go and learn medicine? We still cannot do these surgeries. Every now and then we have to fly patients out of this nation and pay hard-earned currency. My brother, it's so shameful. What is the point Blakk Rasta is going to make? Watch this. Hey, I want to plead with Ibrahim Mahama. Every now and then, I see you sending people abroad to go and treat their eyes, treat their hernia, treat their this and that. It is good. But if you can adopt one of the hospitals with all this money that you've been spending, equip it so well, ultra modern, to save the nation at least. All this running helter-skelter out of this nation on health tourism, it will be more beneficial, sir. Can I say it again? If Ibrahim Mahama truly has the money, why do I say truly? With all this money he's spending on the Zongo people who go to sit in front of his house, people who are coming all the way from Kumasi, Pesingpe, Salaga, Bole, all over Ghana to come and parade in front of his house for him to give them money. My brother, my sister, it is good to give people crumbs from off the table. It's good to give people, in fact, remittances. But it is best to teach the people, in fact, to fish for themselves. Jata Cement is there. All the people who come to beg for money, can a number of them be employed there? Can we start looking at employment so seriously? In fact, Ibrahim Mahama alone cannot employ everybody in Ghana. Again, he cannot feed everybody in Ghana. He cannot send everybody abroad for treatment. So what do we do? Ibrahim Mahama, if he has the money, because I'm not in his pocket, please adopt one of the hospitals. Strive to make it an ultra-modern hospital so that we don't carry anymore our patients with simple eye issues abroad. If we were able to have an open heart surgery in this country, with all respect to Professor Frimpong Boateng, open heart surgery successful in this country, if we were able to have an open brain surgery in this country, is it an eye surgery we can't do? What is wrong with us? With all love to Ibrahim Mahama, I love you and I appreciate you. You are a good man. You will go to heaven. I truly would like to say, please adopt one of the hospitals if you cannot build one. Because every now and then, I see health issues. Ibrahim Mahama is the one flying everybody outside the country. Yes, you are doing a lot. But to curtail all these, if you can, please adopt one of the hospitals. Make it an ultra-modern hospital so that specialists could come and deal with some of these issues. When the specialists deal with these issues, we will save hard-earned money. I'll leave it here. Final story I would like to look at, and I'll call it a day. It's taken from Ghana Web, and it says, government to reverse names of public universities changed under Akufo-Addo. And this is the Minister of Education talking. May I read? Minister of Education Haruna Idrisu has disclosed that the public universities that were renamed during the Akufo-Addo administration would have their names changed to what they were previously known as. Mr. Idrisu, who was speaking during the inauguration of the Governing Council of the CK Tedam, University of Technology and Applied Sciences, said his office is in consultation with key stakeholders on the move. He said the intention was not to demean the contributions of the personalities after whom President Akufo-Addo named the institutions, but to reflect on the integrity of the universities. The government has taken a decision to review the names of some of the universities, and therefore I will be presenting a bill to Parliament after a committee that I will be putting in place reviews it. Of course, I support this. Nana Akufo-Addo was only interested in his party foot soldiers and also putting the focus light on the Busia Dankwa. That's all he was interested in. I am fed up seeing villains in this country all of a sudden, spontaneously, geometrically elevated to the status of heroes. Can you believe that the biggest airport in Ghana is named after such a villain, Ike Kotoka? Why? Not only the university should have this. Can we begin by bringing down the name of Kotoka from our beautiful airport? Let's begin with that. That's most important right now. Get that name off. I don't know what is preventing all these leaders from doing this. Atta Mills came, he couldn't touch it. Hey, the Nkrumah East came, they couldn't touch it. Is it true that Kotoka truly had juju? As written in Nkrumah's book, that Kotoka used to pride himself in the fact that he was from a juju area and he had a lot of juju. At the end of the day, one bullet sent him to his ancestors. According to Kwame Nkrumah, he was begging like a child for his own life. Please read the books of Nkrumah. I'm not saying this. Is it the juju of Ike Kotoka that is still keeping the leaders from pulling down that demonic name? It's most embarrassing. Anytime I fly out of this country and I'm coming in, and it is announced in the aeroplane, oh, in about 30 minutes we're going to be arriving at the Kotoka International Airport, and the man sitting next to me, coming to Ghana for the first time, would ask me, what is the airport called again? And I don't want to repeat the name, but I don't want to be rude, so I say EK Kotoka, Kotoka International Airport. Oh, what's the history behind him? When I go into the history, all of them are left hypnotic, flabbergasted, gobsmacked. It's crazy. Nana Akufo-Addo, all the names he put on these universities, if you check it out, they were all Busia Dankwa people. But I would like to go beyond the Busia Dankwa thing. Were they Ghanaians? Yes, they were. If yes, they were, what were their contributions to Ghana? Not their political parties. If that makes sense, why not? We can honor these people elsewhere, even if you don't want their names on the university. Have I made myself clear? This is my area. I could speak for another 6 hours and I will still be making sense. But my brother, I will leave it here. Nana Akufo-Addo went round putting the names of Busia Dankwa, his political party's people, on universities he never built. What an insult. No wonder Mahama has decided to call his brainchild Mahama Cares. so that nobody one day will name it after JB Dankwa. So that nobody one day will name it after, what's it called, Chebi Chief. Mahama has realized that things like this can happen. So it looks like he's beginning to put his footprints and signatures on anything that he originates. Can you blame him? To God be the glory.